Welcome to another Spot On Chat. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. Zorakle provides profiling tools to franchisors and franchise brokers to help facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise concept. My guest today is Laurie Spivack. She is president and CEO of Goodbye Graffiti USA. Welcome to the show, Laurie. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's really, really great to see you.
You know, with this coronavirus thing where we can't bump into each other at various conferences, it's so nice to actually get to see your face. So thanks for coming on board.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful for Zoom. I sent them a love letter a few weeks ago telling them how grateful I was for them being here, because we had a family gathering from all over the country and we wouldn't have been able to do that without Zoom. So
yeah,
I'm really happy to be here with this.
So important to send our love and say thank you, thank you, thank you. Same way I've been stuck due to both the broken femur and of course the quarantine, and I haven't been able to see my grandchildren and my children in months. And so So Zoom has brought us together on a weekly basis, and I get to watch the baby grow up right there on camera. Right? So I actually wanted to learn a little bit more about your history, specifically around your dancing. My understanding is you didn't really start dancing until in your teens. And I thought that was kind of unusual, especially since you went on professionally to be a dancer, choreographer, et cetera, business owner. So tell me a little bit more about how you got into dance, why it took you so long, and ultimately what happened with your dance life.
Well, when I was in high school, I was in gymnastics, and I decided to take a ballet class to help me with my gymnastics, and I fell in love. And when I went to college, I actually started as a biology major, and then I said, I need to dance. And so I just decided to be a dance major, and I had to work the system because there was no dance major at Michigan State University. But I was in a residential college where I could develop my own curriculum. So I used the other departments, the theater and philosophy and music departments, and I created my own major. Well, of course, there was a dance department, but it was a dance minor. And that's what I did. I wanted to dance, and I'm a pretty stubborn-minded person. If I want to do something, I'll figure out a way to do it. And then after I graduated, I moved to New York City, and it was such a mind-blowing, eye-opening experience because there are so many wonderful dancers there, and there's so much great dance. I got lost for a little while, but I found a way. I ended up finding a way. And I wanted to mention, because you had asked me to tell you a funny story about dancing.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Right away. Okay. I worked in a restaurant, and of course, every dancer works in a restaurant. And I waited on this man who turns out to be a talent scout for Disney.
Oh, wow.
He recruited me to be Minnie and Mickey Mouse for promotions. And I ended up being, for one of the promotions, I was Mickey Mouse for the reopening of the Mets at Shea Stadium. Sorry, they had a strike that year, so when they reopened, it was a real big thing, and they had Mickey throw out the first ball, and so I did that, and that was fun. But I wanted to get the ball autographed, so when the game was over, I was able to go in the back and wait for the players to come out. And the pitcher came out, and I whispered to him that I was Mickey Mouse, and he says, "Oh, give me the ball," and he signed it. And then there was some kid, he says, how'd you get that ball sign? And so I whispered to him, I said, I was Mickey Mouse. And he screamed, Mickey Mouse is a girl.
Oh no, he gave away the secret.
Anyway, well, I shouldn't have done that, but it was a really fun experience.
Oh, how fun. But it's interesting, both stories, getting into dance late and then going to a university and choosing to make dance your major at a school that didn't even offer that, and then having to craft your own curriculum or your own program so you could get this major. So you called it stubbornness or willfulness or tenacity, which is definitely something I see in you. But the same kind of happened with your Mickey Mouse story, because you made up your mind, right? You made up your mind that you were going to get an autograph, whatever that took. So this side of you that is willful, and let's call it willfully determined, seems to be a common pattern in your life. Would you agree?
Yes, yes, I can see me demonstrating that in a lot of different aspects of my life. In fact, I had a volunteer job once as a business mentor, and during one of the sessions, one of the business people who I was working with were at different levels of their business development.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them had asked me, she was just starting out, and she said, well, you know, what did you do? And so I was trying to distill it down to an essence. And I said, decide on something you're going to do and stick to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going from one thing to the other, and you're not allowing something to develop or learn from your mistakes and apply it to make it better.
Yeah.
So that's my philosophy about that.
Yeah. So it's a two-part equation. It's a what do I want? A decision about this is what I want. I want the ball signed by the athlete, or I want to build Goodbye Graffiti, or I want to get a major in dance. All of which definitely had obstacles and challenges that you had to get through, but by making a clear decision and then staying the course,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of get through that learning curve, and you're not restarting and you're not going left and right when you should be going straight. You're able to keep the eye on the ball, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. I study human behavior, so I'm always fascinated with attributes that lead to success. And again, it seems no matter what you do, you are successful. And this is one of those traits that gets you there. But my curiosity here is, how do you see stubbornness as being different than tenacity or perseverance, or are they kind of the same thing?
Um, in a way, I see stubbornness as a reaction to a situation or an interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can articulate this well. Tenacity is something that's inside, and it's something that drives you.
Mm-hmm.
And stubbornness, in a way, stubbornness is something that makes it's kind of, when you think of stubbornness, you think of digging in your heels and not
Yeah,
going anywhere. So I guess they really are different.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
I completely agree with you that tenacity and perseverance is more purpose driven. There's a feeling that I'm going here and I'm going to keep the course and I'm going to course correct, but ultimately I'm going to get there. Where stubbornness is, it's my way or the highway kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a inflexibility, and growing a business or getting a degree in dance or becoming anything requires a certain amount of adaptability and flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
but not losing sight of the ultimate goal. And that to me is what I see in you.
I'm never going to use that word stubborn to describe myself.
We will change it to willfully determined.
That's right.
Willfully determined. So yeah, stubbornness is technically, I think I agree with the way you described it. It's like the, kind of a, it's just an unwillingness to be flexible, right? It's got to be this way. So it's not that you were unflexible, because you had to work the system at the university and work within what they had, and then you built on that. You're doing the same thing today with Goodbye Graffiti, adapting to the coronavirus, but you've never gotten your eye off the ball, which is, I'm going to build this business. I'm going to help people get rid of the graffiti. So that hasn't changed. It's the approach that has changed a bit.
Yeah, and also, as I've lived my life, the reasons behind those decisions have definitely changed.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, it was more to prove myself. And now that I'm older, it's a lot of my decisions more are about making things better.
Yeah.
And creating a better place.
A better place, which I think is a great place for to wrap up this Spot On Chat, because I'd like to pick up with that thought of how we evolve as people, and what's important to us changes. So let's pick that up in another conversation. I so appreciate your time today, Laurie, and I'll reach you in a little bit for another Spot On Chat.
Okay, bye.
Bye.